For me, this is a very important fight. With this victory, I can become even more famous. Mirko Cro is so famous, especially in Japan. Beating him will be great for me. I don't like Cro at all. Not at all. He has a bad attitude. I don't know about the other fighters, but for me, hating him makes me more motivated to beat him.
Mirko, we're here about 10-15 minutes before we actually get started. I just want to get your final thoughts on Wanderlei before you guys step out there and fight each other.
Nothing, excellent fighter. That's all I can say. I don't like him personally, but as a fighter, he's an excellent guy.
No, you said before you don't like him as a person.
Yeah.
Is there a particular reason why? Is it one thing?
He's acting like that. He refuses any contact with other fighters. He's acting like maniac outside of the ring, and plus yesterday he said that he hates me, and there's nothing much I should say about him.
I've seen you fight a lot of years, and this is probably the most intense I've seen you really before a fight. There's a little bit of hatred. You definitely want to try and take Wanderlei out in the first round.
Well, of course, I will try to finish fight as soon as possible, but I'm aware that Wanderlei is an excellent fighter, so I have to be careful too. I mustn't be damaged for the second fight if I want to take the belt, and that's the plan, of course, and I will give my best, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Mirko.
Thank you.
Wanderlei Silva is 35'11", 225 pounds, 22, 2-1 and 1 no contest in pride. Mirko Cro turns 32 today, 6'2", 221 pounds, 15-4 and 2 in Pride Fighting Championships. And right away, Trigg, stop the presses. The world middleweight champion comes into this open-weight semifinal bout 4 pounds heavier than Mirko Cro. Is that going to affect Silva's notoriously renowned conditioning?
Another fight, I would say yes, but not with Wanderlei. It's not going to affect it at all.
The Saitama Super Arena has turned into a power station. It is electrified for this tilt. MMA fans wanted a dream match, and Trigg, it doesn't get any better than Cro versus Silva.
Wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. To get to Cro, you have to be aggressive. Oh my gosh. This definitely, we saw Cro standing in the corner. He is completely pissed off about this fight. He is not happy at all.
Nice middle kick by Cro and a good left hand as well. As there's Silva. The one thing on Silva is his wild striking. Cro the southpaw can come back with that straight left like that.
Cro doing an incredible job of getting out of the way of all the punches. This is what I was talking about. The man that controls the ground and pound.
And he definitely raining down a series of hammer fists on Wanderlei Silva. The crowd at Saitama is going crazy. So now let's see. Surprisingly, Cro said in an interview that he felt that he and Silva were equal on the ground. Silva's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Cro, of course, is trained by world Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion Fabricio Verdun.
Now remember, we're talking about a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. That's with the gi on. This is an MMA fight. We all know that Wanderlei is great on the ground, but it's about being in no gi, being able to punch and kick. As I say that,
nice up kick. He was maneuvering for the armbar, and they are back on their feet. Were you surprised that Cro was able to take Silva down so early?
No, because the way he does his wild punching, you can see Silva's got. Oh no! He got dropped! He got dropped! Straight left hand put him right through the canvas.
We just talked about it. Silva's unorthodox striking techniques, the wide punches, and Cro tagged him with a straight left.
You can see that Silva's right eye is starting to swell up, and that's from the left hand that he hit earlier before he put him down.
One thing about Silva, an amazing ability to recover rapidly when hurt in a fight. He'll have to really recover here if he wants to win this fight.
I like the way Cro being patient on top. He's not trying to burn himself out. He's picking his punches, he's picking his position.
Cro Cop, the only man in the tournament to have faced, or the Final Four to have faced the other competitors. 2 wins against Josh Barnett, a loss to Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, and a draw, of course, with Wanderlei Silva at Prix 20. Also the only semifinalist not to have held a major title. Look at that eye, Trig.
I'm telling you right now, you do not, if I'm Wanderlei, I do not want to have this back on my feet. I want to keep this on the ground as much as I can, but Wanderlei's got to get on top.
Well, because so far it's not been so good for him, top or bottom, but you think that Silva really has to take this to the ground and dominate because of the way that Cro Cop's been able to pick him apart.
Cro Cop has improved his punching. He's doing straight punches, not leading with that left leg kick that he usually does. He's leading with his left hand. It's causing Silva tremendous problems right now.
Well, Cro Cop came up with the quote of the tournament when he said, right kick, hospital, left kick, cemetery, and he has sent many opponents to the MMA mausoleum with that left missile, and that left punch, the straight left right down the open guard of Silva, has resulted in what we see right now.
We looked earlier in the first round, he was Cro Cop sliding out of the way of Wanderlei's punching. As soon as he stops punching, he comes right back in with a 2-punch combination. I don't think Cro Cop's thrown 1 kick yet, and he's famous for his
Well,
kicks.
he threw that middle kick that definitely stung early on, but you're right. He is picking him apart with his methodical counter-striking. Let's face it, he's probably the best counter-striker in the heavyweight division as we see that goose egg beginning to form over the right eye of Silva.
The longer this waits, the longer that they take a look at this, the more it's going to swell, it's going to close up. He's not going to be able to see. So they've either got to make a decision right now and get this fight started again, or they're going to have to call it right now.
And you don't want to be the man to call this fight or stop it. Of course, safety is paramount, but you know that Wanderlei Silva is going to do whatever it takes and plead with the medical staff saying, don't worry, I can do this, let me fight. And the crowd obviously rallying behind Wanderlei Silva as they want to continue to see this battle. Look at Mirko Cro. You can see the look in his eyes. Let's get this thing going. Unbelievable action to kick off the semifinal matchup between Mirko Cro and Wanderlei Silva. You can see Silva bleeding. Yeah, he's bleeding with them. You can cut the intensity in this building with that proverbial knife Trig. Every one of these fans, and it's another sold-out night here at Saitama Super Arena, waiting on pins and needles to find out whether or not Silva is going to be able to continue as, again, a victim of that devastating straight left from the southpaw.
And when you're a southpaw fighter, as I am, this is why, one of the reasons why I really do like Cro Cop, is the fact that he throws straight left-hand punches. If you can sneak a straight left hand in there, you can do a lot of devastating damage to your opponents. It makes it very simple. It looks, now mind you, I'm not in the corner. I can't necessarily, read his lips either, but it looks like to me that he's really
the body language.
Yeah, we really got to start this fight again. He's bleeding. There we go.
But again, vision is paramount, is everything. Mirko Cro now walking over. And of course, Cro now is telling the referee we're going to start from the same position, right? Well, you know who is the more popular of the two fighters. Wanderlei Silva getting an incredible reaction from the crowd. And Mirko Cro though, continues. And look at Silva now. You see the desperation, Trig. Wildly striking from the bottom.
He's got to use his legs a little bit more. He's not using his legs on Cro Cop. See, he's just kind of limply have his legs wrapped around Cro Cop's body. He's got to use them to his advantage. If he brings his legs high like he's trying to do right now, he'll tie Cro Cop's arms up so he can't swing back.
Cro Cop, of course, trying to control from the guard there. Silva, again, very active on the bottom, trying to maneuver for a possible arm bar again, trying to grip the wrists of Cro Cop. What does Cro Cop have to do here, though, Trig, as Silva right now fighting for his life in this tournament?
Right now, what Cro Cop's doing is head down. It's basically, it's not a great striking position. We all know that Cro Cop's a great striker. He needs to posture up, sit up, get position, get distance between him and Wanderlei so he can throw the straight left, straight down to the body, straight down to the head.
Being in this position and restarting from this position, doesn't it, in a sense, help Silva a bit recover? Because right now we're seeing Cro Cop not able to continue to exploit that injury over the right eye.
If I were Cro Cop, I would have hoped for this thing to start back up on my feet. I'm a little bit, and I've been known to be a little bit of an aggressive fighter, and right now if I'm Cro Cop, I'm throwing to the right eye, and I'm trying to close it up like you said. The longer this fight goes on, the better it is for Cro Cop because the eye's going to swell up a lot more. They got a lot more closed. So in Cro Cop's position, he doesn't need to go crazy trying to stop this fight.
There was a
but
hammer
Wanderlei
fist.
needs to, for sure. He needs to get up and get after it.
Now in the open guard there, now back to a closed guard, but Silva in a world of trouble here thanks to an early sublime straight left. You see the evidence of that left on the screen there. The right eye of Wanderlei Silva. Mirko Cro trying to pepper him with hammer fists, but Silva really right now just wants to keep Cro close to him. It's not like he's totally defensive right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about his recovery time earlier. He's completely recovered right now, but it's just smart for him. For him to be in this position, it makes a lot of sense for him to stay here. Not going to take much more damage. You can do a little peppering shots to Cro Cop as he's on his back.
This is similar to how we saw Silva in the Pride middleweight tournament when he was in the battle against Ricardo Arona, and that's what Arona was able to do to control him from that position and, of course, give him his first loss in over 5 years in the middleweight division. But now Mirko Cro definitely doing damage to Wanderlei Silva. We talked about him being defensive. He's now been issued one of those yellow cards, which means a 10% deduction to his purse. And, of course, 3 yellow cards means a disqualification.
Mauro, I got to tell you what, I don't think that's for being defensive. I think it's because when he got up, he had a mouthful of blood and he dropped it on the mat.
Okay, well,
that's one of the things they don't want you to do is to spit blood out.
It'll be interesting to see because he definitely was defensive from the bottom, but they're back on their feet. And now Silva again. Another nice middle kick delivered by Cro Cop.
He's doing a much better job. Cro Cop's elbows are starting to come up a little bit. His shoulders starting to get tight to his neck. It looks like he's getting a little tired.
And unfortunately, the desperation that Silva feels, you can see it in his punches, getting wilder and wilder with those looping lefts and rights. He needs to settle down, rethink his game plan against one of the best strikers in the business in Mirko Cro Cop. We have passed the midway point of round one. Nice by Silva.
Oh my gosh. Wow, it's great to see how Cro Cop's backing out. Oh, nice middle kick. We're already starting to see the redness on Wanderlei's right side of his hip.
Cro Cop, kick!
Oh no!
We told you the left high kick has sent many opponents to the MMA mausoleum. Add Wanderlei Silva to the list. Mirko Cro Cop is on his way to the final.
I can't believe that. He threw one head-high left kick, and that was it. It put Wanderlei down. He did a great job of picking his spots, picking his position, used his hands to set everything up. Wanderlei wasn't even looking for the leg kick anymore because he never threw one head kick, and when he finally threw it, it connected. Ended the fight.
At 5 minutes and 22 seconds of the opening round, Mirko Cro Cop has KO'd Wanderlei Silva. Let's take a look one more time at one of the most shocking KOs in Pride history.
He set it up tremendously by throwing a right jab. He finally, I've said this before, and I've taken a lot of flack from you, Mauro. These guys got to throw a lot more jabs. He threw a jab early, took a half step back, took a half step forward, and threw that leg kick and caught Wanderlei right in the top of the head.
Considering who his opponent was tonight, would you agree that this is the most dominant we have ever seen Mirko Cro Cop in Pride Fighting Championships? The way that he was able to just dismantle the Pride World Middleweight Champion, and people can say, yeah, but Silva's a smaller fighter. Tonight, he came in 4 pounds heavier than Cro Cop. Now, in hindsight, do you think the added weight added to what happened here tonight?
No, not at all. It had nothing to do with the added weight. It was the fact that Cro Cop was using his hands better. He was using straight, traditional Queensberry rule style boxing. It was straight punching. Wanderlei was throwing looping punches. If you want to beat a guy like Mirko, who's a little bit taller than you, a little bit longer, you have to use straight punches. Wanderlei was using hooking punches. He got caught up in the inside and just got cracked.
Trig, it's so easy to play armchair quarterback. Going back to the start of this fight, what could Wanderlei Silva have done differently to avoid what has been probably his worst defeat, his most brutal beating ever?
You know, I think just because that the way Wanderlei chose to fight him with his looping punches and being super aggressive in the beginning, he should have tried to take Cro Cop down to the ground and end up on top instead of spending so much time on the bottom. Now my question for you, Mauro, is that do you think he's going to be ready to fight in November?
Time will tell, because you're right. The UFC has called out Wanderlei Silva to fight their light heavyweight champion, Chuck Liddell.
Wanderlei's one of the toughest guys in the world that's going to come after it. I got to be honest with you. Wanderlei wants to fight Chuck Liddell. Wanderlei wants to come, Wanderlei obviously wants to come after it, You know, we've heard from the inside that, you know, obviously Pride wants this fight to happen. I mean, everybody in the world, the fans, both organizations, everybody wants this thing to have this thing happen. You got to remember, Wanderlei is a middleweight, a 205-pounder that stepped in to fight heavyweights. He made the semifinals of an open-weight tournament, being the only middleweight left. He did a great job, and losing to a guy like Cro, it's incredible. I mean, there's no problem with him losing like this because he did such a great job against such a great opponent.